Welcome, join us as we explore the mystical insights of the Blood Moon Oracle, revealing profound guidance for your journey ahead. Thank you for watching. I am worthy of love. Love flows to me, through me, effortlessly. With each breath I welcome tenderness, warmth and deep connection. Listen to feeling light. I am connected to the love that surrounds me and lives within me. I open my heart to give and receive love. Within myself, with others, and with the universe, and with God. I forgive, I let go, I choose harmony. Ooh, I'm safe in love. I am whole. Ooh. Hello, welcome to Blood Moon Oracle this morning. I hope you guys are well today. In all its forms, I am love. I am love. Like, share, comment, subscribe if you feel led. We are going to take a look at what Spirit wants us to know about this coming weekend. It's been a rough couple of days into what we have called this holy day we just went through yesterday. I felt lots of dissonance, cognitive dissonance for this holiday, not just within me, but in the general energy of the collective, of the conscious reality. There's lots of cognitive dissonance, lots of heaviness as well. We have the Ten of Wands coming out. It's important. I think this is a good time to cleanse. It's a good time to institute or go into personal practices of self-care, and then be really conscious of what we're feeling, not to push those feelings down, but allow them to come forward and process. Allow yourself to feel them. Allow that discomfort to rest and work through that. Work through it. This has been a pretty heavy time. And if we're not careful, we may carry that into the weekend. We don't have to. This may be a work that needs to be done. But if there's anything that's not yours to carry, understand that you can release that. But we have the Ten of Wands coming out here as we go into the weekend. We have the King of Cups, the Nine of Pentacles, and the Nine of Swords, right? Two nines out here. I feel like this could possibly be the end of with a 10 as well, the end of a season. Maybe at the end of a season where we feel like we have to carry things on our own, or we feel like we have to be in a very independent space. Even though that's a beautiful place to be, I'm somebody that really loves my personal space, my personal time. But there's something about it coming to an end, the realization of that over this weekend, that as we enter in and releasing anything that's been heavy, that's been weighing on our hearts with the Nine of Swords. 9-9, there's an ending. And with that ending, we may in fact be introduced to a higher level of existence with the King of Wands. I mean, the King of Cups, excuse me. There's a bit of emotional stability that the King of Cups brings in, a bit of, and I'm hearing restitution, right? This is the reward for what we've been through, this sense of rest in who we are and the experience. The King of Cups is very mature, is very comfortable, right, in the uniqueness that is brought through the King of Cups. This is someone who is very well um, adjusted wherever he is and very accepting of who he is and others. This is probably someone that draws people because of their comfort within themselves, in their own skin, and because of the work that they've done on themselves to be able to stand in that level of comfort. There is a drawing of people. This is probably going to be your counselors, um, your go-to people, whenever you need some solid advice for life, right? Or whenever you're having some type of hardship and you need support, right? These are your go-to people. They're very stable. And so let's take a look at these energies that out. What Spirit wants us to know about life, about what we're going through now. As we go into the weekend, we have the Ten of Wands, the King of Cups, the Nine of Pentacles, and the Nine of Swords. So let's see. Why is the Ten of Wands out here? Feels like things have been heavy, and maybe in some way, maybe we're just talking about this season that we're in right now. Things feel very heavy. We have the Six of Swords. I do feel like there's an ending coming to some experience that we may be acclimated to or used to right now. We're moving away from that. We're moving away from having to carry everything, this sense of burden and heaviness, being stockpiled with everything, having a plate full and still having to carry others' plates too. The Six of Swords and the Fool, we're moving away from that. There's something new, a new experience waiting to come in for us. With the Six of Swords, it's talking about moving away from the chaotic energy, moving to a more peaceful space. That's going to be new, a new experience, allowing yourself to open up to something new. The Fool talks about a new start, a new beginning, possibly even turning in the opposite direction and going a different way, doing something completely different, right? Having a new chance to maybe even create a new reality too. It's no longer going to be what it was. And that's a choice that you're making. Okay, so however that resonates, why is the King of Cups here? Yeah, why is the King of Cups here? I have the Five of Pentacles and the Hermit. Some of this I feel like is going to be around when we look at the King of Cups, it's clarified by the Five of Pentacles and the Hermit, right? This inner work that's being done. The Hermit goes within to seek the answers needed. This could be around healing how we think, healing how we live. Um, there's something that is being addressed, maybe issues being addressed very maturely. The King of Cups, again, as I was stating, is very mature, even in the face of adversity. And the Five of Pentacles can talk about going from a difficult place to a more livable, a more desirable state. And how we do that is to go within, to withdraw from the world, to really go within and find out what's going on, like what type of things need to change. Fives are all about change. So the Five of Pentacles may be addressing issues from a different process or a different approach. Maybe when you feel challenged or stressed, maybe one of the things that you like to do is go shop. Maybe you hop online and you go and spend a little bit, maybe that might not necessarily be helpful, but there's something in that you've learned to soothe and cope, right? Maybe that's something that will be changing. Instead of doing that, we're going to take a moment to stop and go within. Maybe go pray or go meditate or go do some type of um, activity that's going to strengthen the inner man, right? Or maybe instead of going to get a drink or going to get something sweet, maybe instead of doing that, we're going to go and find maybe some sessions on yoga, or maybe take a moment just to stop and allow our bodies to stretch, right? And so there's something about handling the difficulties. Five of Pentacles suggests some difficulty, right? Handling them in a more mature way and going to the root of the problem, not just addressing the symptoms, right? When we go to shop, instead of figuring out why we want to shop, that's just addressing the symptoms. I feel like this is a perfect time to do that too. Today is Black Friday. How many are out there, shopping when you really don't really have it, Um, and so, with that being said, there's a lot about changing the method of how we deal with the issue. There's something about change, approaching it a different way. I just named a couple of things that my go-tos, but put yourself in those shoes. What are your go-tos that you recognize aren't necessarily the best? It's not that they're wrong, but what are the best ways to handle it that will empower you from the inside out? Um, and this King of Cups talks about a maturity, an emotional maturity. And I feel like this is suggesting not just to aim to address the symptoms of the problem, but to go to the heart of the problem, find out why this urge is coming up right now. And how can I effectively address that? How can I go to the root and actually serve the root of the cause of the symptom, to alleviate it, to heal it? Hermit is all about going within to search for answers and to come out with the healing desire, come out with the light. And this light could very well not only serve you and your healing, but the hermit comes back with answers for everyone. Everyone will be able to learn from what you've gone within and found within yourself. And so it's actually going to serve maybe a higher purpose. Okay, the King of Cups. That's what's coming out there. Why is the Nine of Pentacles here? The Nine of Pentacles. So we have the Four of Wands and the King of Wands. I don't know, but I just feel like there's going to be an end to this very independent state of being with the Nine of Pentacles. This is a beautiful energy, by the way. The Nine of Pentacles is almost like pre-Empress energy, because it states that you have really come to grips with your solitude, with your independence, with your ability to stand and do what's needed to be done without having anyone else to be there to, affirm you, to assist you, to give to you. The Nine of Pentacles is an independent energy of someone who has the necessary tools and that has utilized those tools very well and positioned themselves to be able to exist in a space of solitude, of independence, and that in abundance, right? The Nine of Pentacles is someone who has um, nothing to worry about. The next after the Nine of Pentacles is the Ten of Pentacles. That's complete fulfillment, not only in this space, but even moving forward. It's the promise of even more to come. And so this is a very beautiful card, but it's clarified by the Four of Wands, which brings you that independent energy, because the Four of Wands is about community. The Four of Wands is about celebration and accomplishments with those outside of yourself, coming together to fulfill things together. So again, I feel like with the Ten of Wands, it's no longer carrying this burden alone. It's partnerships and collaborations. It's carrying the weight amongst men, right? And so there's something about coming out of this very independent energy to do what it is that you've been called to do. The other card that we have is the King of Wands, which is very active, very motivated, um, very motivating, right? As he sets out on his journey to do what he's been called to do, there's a lot of attraction there that calls others in and inspires others to get on board and do what they're called to do too. And so this is multifaceted, right? Being called out of this very independent energy. It's time to do what you've been called to do. Okay. The Nine of Pentacles. Now, with the Nine of Swords, this can sometimes be interpreted as worrying energy. But let's take a look. Why is the Nine of Swords here? Maybe coming out of a period or a time where you just have been worried about a lot of things. And it's, with the Ten of Wands coming out, having to carry everything and do everything yourself, I could see how you could have adopted this very worry like energy. But I feel like it's coming to an end. It's a 9. And it's clarified by the 8 of Cups. There's nothing really beneficial there anymore. And we have the counterpart to the King of Wands. We have the Queen of Wands coming out with the 8 of Cups. There's nothing to worry about, right? You're moving out of that energy to something more productive, to something more aligned with where you need to be. The star on the bottom is the second wish fulfillment card. Lots of healing taking place around that. So whatever has bothered you or kept you in a state of worrying about what's next, I feel like it's being healed and it's being replaced with active energy. Worrying never solved anything. What are you going to do about it? How can you use what you have to activate and to move instead of just sitting still and worrying? The Queen of Wands is also a very active energy, very energized, very attractive. A lot of feminine nature behind this one, very nurturing. Yeah, inspiring. So I feel like there's a bit of balance coming in for you, lots of balance. Whether this is within your community, within your collective space, or within yourself. It's almost like the elements that were missing are being placed where they need to go so that you can operate more efficiently, is what I'm hearing. And so as we move into this weekend, I feel like there's some massive changes happening, a shift in responsibilities. You're no longer required to carry the weight of whatever it is you've been carrying. I feel like you're going to get a break. Maybe the idea around what this is you're moving towards is going to be revealed this weekend. This might also be a time to just initiate that yourself. Allow yourself to rest. One of the things I did yesterday, I didn't have to work. So I didn't roll out of bed. I didn't roll out of bed until like 2 o'clock. Besides the fact of feeling like yesterday was a very heavy day, emotionally, energetically, I allowed myself to get as much rest as my body wanted. I didn't have nothing to do, right? The Hangman comes out, and I feel like that spirit letting you know this is a time of rest. Besides the fact that we're in fall season, which is a rest season anyway, this is a time that we are allowed to rest. Things naturally slow down, including our biological clocks. They slow down. So this is a time where we should be getting more rest. When the sun doesn't come out as often, we should be hibernating, kind of like bears. And so this may be a weekend as we go in where you consider what your body needs, a timeout, a quick sit down, and don't feel guilty. And even if you do, still allow yourself to rest. As I was laying in bed, I was like, I should be up doing something. I should be cleaning. I should be shopping, doing something. But I was like, I'm resting. As long as my body wants to sleep, I'm going to sleep. And I didn't get up till like about 2 o'clock. I slept and I feel so renewed. I really feel like my body needed that. And even though I felt guilty laying there, I was like, I overrode that guilt with what my body needed, obviously to rest. And so going into this weekend, maybe that's something that you can allow yourself to indulge in. Okay. That's one of those good things to indulge in. So we have the hangman coming out here as we end this reading. We also have the lovers and the magician. So I feel like someone is definitely manifesting healing within themselves, which also may be attracting, healing energies outside of yourself, whether that's love or just partnerships, very positive, healthy. The lovers is balanced. The opposite of the lovers is the devil, which talks about manipulation, captivity, um, codependence, right? But the lovers is the very opposite of that. It's a very pure connection, a very balanced connection. It's a high level connection. And so, through the healing that's being done and through what's happening right now, I feel like these are the energies that's coming in for you. You're being, or you have all of what you need in this moment to do what you need to do what you're being called to do. And part of that starts within yourself, making sure that the inner part is balanced, that you get everything that you need, including rest. Maybe even redirecting some patterns to more healthy patterns, challenging ourselves to respond to any pressures that we're feeling in a more positive way. And so, incidentally, I do have the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands. That is a um, couple, that's a divine couple. And so it could be about love for someone, doesn't have to be. But if it is, this is a very, um, like a power couple. King of Wands and the Queen of Wands. I like that. I like that. And you may, in fact, be serving a purpose for one another. The King of Wands is pulling you out of your independence, and the Queen of Wands is soothing the concerns and the stress in some type of way. It's moving you out of this overly um, concerned energy. It's calming the concerns, right? And so there's a lot of beautiful things that are happening around you and through you. Moving into this weekend, I feel like it's heavy, but we're being challenged to address the heaviness in a different way, to take a different approach to it. Okay. I do feel like there's something that is going to, something beautiful that's going to come out of this. There's something that we're being called to do, serving on a higher scale for a higher purpose. Maybe we don't see clearly what that is, but we're being prepared for something. We're being prepared for something and positioned for something to operate in a certain capacity. Um, and so challenge yourself as we go into this weekend. It does feel heavy. If it does feel like you are in worry, wart energy, challenge yourself to respond differently. If you're used to some type of way of responding that's not necessarily healthy and you know it's not, say, what other option would I have that would provide a more healthy outlet? And try that instead. Because this is about redirecting patterns. And what I'm hearing is sometimes we can be so stuck in patterns that even when we're out of stressful situations, the patterns continue. When we're under stress, okay, for granted, I understand why you would respond that way. Oh, I need to, I need a drink, or I need uh, smoke, or whatever way that you respond. I need to go and shop and get something, for the house. You may not even need something for the house, but you just want to shop. You want to assert your dominance through money, right? Sometimes that makes us feel better. I'm not gonna lie, but what happens is when we respond that way so many times, it becomes a pattern, an ingrained pattern. And when the time of burden, passes, we no longer are in that energy where we need to respond that way, but we've already developed this pattern. And It becomes a part of who we are, not a response, is what I hear Spirit saying. And so this is about breaking those patterns that we have cultivated through responses. And it's no longer a response, but now it's just become a part of who we are. It's about redirecting those because you are coming out. I don't know if things have been heavy for a minute. You're no longer there anymore. So the trauma response is no longer necessary. It's time for healing. There's a higher calling where you are right now, and for some, where you're going. It's a new direction. And so that's what I'm hearing. Going into this weekend is about allowing yourself to be conscious of how you're responding or what patterns you're operating in. Choose a different decision and don't be afraid to allow yourself to rest. Okay. And make higher level decisions. That's another um, quality from the lovers. This is about high level decisions, right? It's deciding through your higher self, through your conscious self, not unconsciously, but consciously making good decisions that's going to be beneficial on a soul level. And understanding that you are positioned, right, to create what it is that you desire. What is it that you want to experience? You've been positioned to make that happen. We have three major manifesting cards that came out here. One was the Magician, the other one was um, the Nine of Pentacles, is a wish fulfillment card. And I thought I saw the Star. I guess not. I could have swore I saw the Star. Where did that card come in at? Well, two major manifesting cards. And so this is about, you being able and understanding that you create the life that you want to experience. It's nobody else's job to do that. It's yours. Even though you are within a community, looks like with this Four of Wands, you'll be pulled out of this solitude state into a community. Everybody is responsible for their own manifestations and what they bring into being. It's a collective energy that empowers the total um, source in operation, but everybody is maybe manifesting different things, drawing off of the same energy, but have different directives. You're responsible for yours, is what I'm hearing. And so moving into this weekend, focus. It's not what they say it should be. We saw these out Black Friday. You need to go spend money and get the deal. It may not even be a deal. They just want you to spend money. This is about you going within. This is a powerful moment that we're in. Direct your energy in the way that is good for you, not what the energy is telling you should be. You need to consciously decide where to channel and focus your energy. I feel like you're being called to something in this moment as we go into the weekend, okay? So be consciously moving through the energy this weekend. You are in control of that. Be empowered, okay? You could do this. That's what I have here. Let me know if it resonates. If anything we talked about here kind of struck a chord. Sometimes Spirit is talking to us before we even hear the message. The message just comes to confirm. That's what I have going into the weekend of 11/28. This will be the last weekend of November. As we head into December, I'm going to do a December reading next. All right. Take care and happy weekend. Bye. Blood Moon Oracle, like, share, comment. Leticia is my name. I'll see you all next time.